It was education,
right,
which is code for white parents don't like the idea of teaching about race. And I mean, unfortunately, race is just the most palpable tool.
Welcome to this week's Wacky Moments of Leftist Extremism. Hey, did you hear that there were some elections held this week? That's right, the media melted down after many GOP victories, but none caused them more distress than Glenn Youngkin's gubernatorial victory in the blue state of Virginia. Now, the leftist media cried and whined, as you would have expected, and of course, it's all because of racism.
Very nice soccer dad model that Youngkin has put out there. This new, I'm a palatable version who still says similar themes that Trump said, especially when we saw his closing argument about what he dubbed education, when in reality it was about race.
It was education,
right,
which is code for white parents don't like the idea of teaching about race.
The racial priming that Republicans have engaged in successfully here tonight, the taking of fantasy land and making that a politically, quote unquote, real issue like critical race theory.
Welcoming in this more palatable Republican who still uses the same racist themes that Trump did.
Glenn Youngkin's closing message to Virginia voters has almost singularly focused on weaponizing race, stoking hysteria over the coded boogeyman of critical race theory, which is not currently taught in any Virginia public school.
It's never because the Democrats have really poor ideas on issues that people actually care about. No, it can't be that. It's those dog whistles of racism that nobody can hear except dogs and those media hounds.
Critical race theory is it's become the new dog whistle, except you can actually hear it, so it's not really a dog whistle.
When you talk about critical race theory in Virginia, and it's not taught in Virginia schools, that's a dog whistle.
Oh yes, the dog whistle of critical race theory, which despite the educational presentations and actual receipts from school boards that show that it's being used in Virginia schools, the media assures us
it's not taught in any Virginia public schools.
Yeah, let's start there. Critical race theory not taught in Virginia schools.
One key issue for Youngkin, opposition to the teaching of critical race theory in schools. The curriculum is not taught in Virginia schools, and McAuliffe has called the tactic a racist dog whistle.
What he calls critical race theory, even though it's not taught in Virginia schools.
A lot of them believe that critical race theory is being taught in the schools. They don't like that, but it's really not on the curriculum in Virginia.
Critical race theory that is not taught in public schools in Virginia.
There's no evidence it's been taught in public schools.
Critical race theory isn't taught. It means something different to voters. They think it is. So Republicans are fixing it. Youngkin's going to ban it. And some of it is just a question for Democrats now. Do you adjust to a terrain that is not fair, that is not just, that is all fact-based?
It's not fair. It's not fact-based. How could Democrats possibly have lost? It's not like CRT is being taught and is a real issue because Democrats would win on issues, right?
Virginia's new governor-elect Glenn Youngkin seized on a range of issues that seem to motivate parents, particularly in those all-important suburbs which Mr. Trump lost. Issues from the controversy over mask mandates, what kids are taught in school, like critical race theory. Democrats, Terry McAuliffe in particular, tried to downplay those issues, to some extent ignore them altogether.
So after the election, White House correspondent Kristen Welker admits that failed Democratic candidate Terry McAuliffe probably shouldn't have dismissed the issue of CRT being taught. Except CRT is not a real issue, right? I mean, follow that logic. It's brought to you by Walmart. Give them a call and tell them that you're not buying their support for this type of coverage. So after lying about issues and Virginia's apparent rampant racism that allows Glenn Youngkin to win, CNN and MSNBC decided to snub the victory of the black female Republican lieutenant governor and not play her acceptance speech on election night because, it's easier to ignore that. Maybe it's because they didn't like what she had to say.
There are some who want to divide us, and we must not let that happen. They would like us to believe we are back in 1963 when my father came. We can live where we want. We can eat where we want. We own the water fountains. We have had a black president elected not once but twice, and here I am, living proof.
Oh, darn it, facts and proof. Best to avoid those things. Remember, Virginia's election was all about
racism, weaponizing race.
The racial priming that Republicans have engaged in successfully here tonight.
Which is really funny because when Virginia and New Jersey voted Democratic in 2017, the leftist media told us it was all about the issues and the leadership of Donald Trump.
Good morning. Stinging rebuke. A tough election night for President Trump and the GOP. Democrats with key victories in Virginia and New Jersey. The message sent by voters.
1 year after President Trump's election, voters in Virginia and New Jersey go big for Democrats. Their candidates for governor win easy victories.
Democrats sweeping key races, what it means for the Trump agenda.
Northam's win fueling a big night for Democrats. The Army veteran and doctor making a clear reference to President Trump without ever mentioning him by name.
Virginia has told us to end the divisiveness, that we will not condone hatred and bigotry.
So said the Democratic governor whose medical school yearbook features pictures of people in a Klan hood and blackface.
That same year, I did participate in a dance contest in San Antonio, in which I darkened my face as part of a Michael Jackson costume.
Clearly, when Virginia kept Governor Ralph Northam in office, that was totally not racist, according to the leftist media.
You can see the governor, Virginia Governor Ralph Northam, deeply apologized, and he said that he's now going to engage in a process of kind of listening and hoping to be an agent of healing.
They are so twisted that if this election, by any chance could be a reflection of the series of failures of the Biden administration, well, it's really Trump's fault.
Because I think in some ways the meter hasn't moved at all since Trump left office. And while this administration is grappling with the problems that it adopted from the last administration, these problems are in some ways either still existing or the after effects of these problems, supply chain shortages, economic issues are still hitting us. And now it's actually hurting the current administration.
Oh yeah, Mika, it's all Trump's fault. You go with that. Talking about discussing some imaginary issues. I'm Eric Shiner from MRC-TV, asking you to imagine yourself annoying people like Mika by getting some great gifts at the MRC Store. Check it out online. Purchase some great gear that will annoy the left. Also, check out MRCTV.org for the latest in news, videos, and information from the entire MRC-TV crew. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to these videos on the social media platform of your choice, and we'll be back with more leftist media madness next week.